Claudio on Instagram, wait, Twitter and Instagram, whatever. And yeah, his entire page is just dedicated to being cool, being an alpha male, and putting down women while trying to convince everybody how cool he is. But babe, we can see you. We can see you with our eyes. So in the comments section,
All right, what's up, guys? Wanted to do a quick, kind of like an impromptu Q&A. First off, excuse the background. My office is flooded or got flooded a little bit, so they had to cut out the baseboards and cut into the wall because some water heater upstairs blew up or leaked or something. So I'm here in my living room, and as you can see all my kitchen, my home bar, all that crap. It's just out. So excuse me, and we'll soon get back to normal programming. So yeah, so we have this little app called Not Gonna Lie or NGL, where people ask questions anonymously. So I mean, I guess most people use it like for flirting or for a little bit of flirting and controversy on their timeline. Girls definitely use it so they can, establish status. Usually they'll never show a story that's embarrassing or anything. They'll just share like a question about, "Hey, you're so hot. Like, can I go out with you?" And then she'll respond and put it on the Instagram timeline. But then I realized, like, hey, wait, I can use this to get questions out of people that are a little bit embarrassing to ask because, as with dating, there is a lot of embarrassing questions, or it guys that are not good with women are having trouble often are embarrassed, and that's normal. We're men, part of getting girls is part of our ego and wanting to look cool in front of others, and that's 100% understandable. Uh, but that's why I kind of wanted to try this out. Maybe I could use this for future streams or whatever. But yeah, I have all these questions. I said it 2 weeks ago, and then uh the link is on Twitter, and I think I'm gonna give you guys the link here. I'm trying to put it in the YouTube chat, but it won't let. Hold on, let me copy link, and then let's see. Let's see if it allows me to put it in the YouTube chat from my phone. Let's see. Let's see what it says. It won't let me. Okay, that's weird. All right. Well, guys, it's on Twitter. You know what? I'll share the post on Twitter where the link me is at. Where the link me, the not gonna lie. I don't know. Whatever it's called, the question thing. Here, I'll post it here. Um, copy, copy link. And of course, you guys, if you guys want to super chat, you can. The super chats will always take precedence. So, all right. I don't really have much of an announcement. Book is still at the editor, waiting for that. It's Substack. Subscribe. I still have to get you guys the newsletter number 4, Nuke Drop number 4, which is a neat little magazine style newsletter where it's like bits and pieces of red pill dating advice in a very visual way. Just to break up the week. A lot of like red pill stuff is just drab, and it's just like a lot of people make this stuff and it's always like they want you to worry and be angry. Like I want it to be like you're reading a Nintendo Power, or a gaming and Game Informer or something where it's just like, oh, cool, that's cool. Yeah, I used to do that on that game, or yeah, that's a good thing, and just kind of like not let it dominate your your mind so much. But all right, so let's open this app. All right, inbox, and okay, and I want to start from the oldest to the newest. So, first one is $1 billion tax free or dinner with Jay Z. Now, this is an old internet meme, but uh, there was a time on Money Twitter where someone asked, "Would you want to go on a date with sorry, date dinner with Jay Z or $10 million?" And the answer should be obvious, but some people chose Jay Z, and that kind of highlights something that I've had a lot of trouble putting it into words, right? But that kind of highlights something about people that we really value celebrities and we really like the celebrity worship is probably not healthy. It doesn't make sense. We see these people as some kind of like arbiters of truth and more intelligent the average person. Maybe they have some kind of talent. Maybe we're at the right place at the right time. We'll never know. There's no way to prove it. But this is just indicative of that. Of course I would pick $1 billion, you know? I know it's a funny question, but just think about that and how people see celebrities uh and would rather spend 30 minutes with a celebrity trying to get unlock the secrets of the universe that they supposedly know or generational wealth, you know? So it is what it is. Okay, next question. Let's see. What's a positive opinion you have about dating and marriage in 2026? Positive opinion. Most of my opinions, surprisingly enough, are positive, right? It's just you have to. It's positive if you understand women. It's not positive if you keep projecting men's values, men's biology onto women. Of course, everything about women has to be like men or it's wrong. So something positive that I feel about marriages, marriage and dating is that most women don't want to be in relationships. Most women do not like the average guy. But when a girl does like you, it's almost overwhelming how much she likes you. And that's one of the weirdest thing. I think it's more of a United States thing. Because when I was living in Puerto Rico, I mean it was before the age of social media, like at least the precipice of social media. Uh women kind of liked you. They hugged you, they kissed you on the cheek to say hello. They were okay studying with you. They included you in your plans. Women generally liked men in general. But to get a girl to be crazy about you seemed impossible. Some girls would even hook up with you, but it was like, like whatever. But it didn't feel like any women were crazy about you like that. However, in the United States, it's the opposite. It's like most women don't even see that you exist. Most women have RBF, whatever. But when you find a girl that does like you, it's like instant worship. It's like you become the celebrity in her life. And I think that's a good thing. You just got to wade through all this crap and plunge your hand in the filth, and then you'll pull out a diamond. And that's what I say. Every rejection gets you closer to a girl like that. And you'll find that it's not so great sometimes for a girl to be obsessed with you. It kind of is time consuming. It's a little bit stressful. You often have to tell her, hey, I'm not available tonight. I can't have sex with you. I can't spend time with you. I can't. I'm busy. I'm doing this. And it's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. So that's my positive uh, opinion on dating. It's that yes, most girls don't like you, but the ones that do like you a lot, and it's overwhelming. And for guys that are struggling or just here or just starting to learn about women, it may not make sense to you now. And I don't want to be like that. Like I don't want to be like Sensei, Nuke Sensei, and be like, you don't understand, child. But I want to say that once you get a little bit of abundance in your life and you start talking to women, um, the ultimate goal of dating in abundance is to have so many options that you hope she cancels so you can do something else, like play the new video game, work on your business, or Do literally anything else. And that is good. That's a good problem to have. You have so many options and leads. It's like running a business. You have so many customers that you're able to turn customers down. That's ultimately what you want. So, all right. Next one. Yeah. No, we can't spend 11 hours together and don't get mad. Exactly. Yeah, here's the link. Thanks, Grim Villain. There's the link if you guys want to. All right. All right. This is from who's the problem, men or women? Both of us. Both of us are the problem. Um, and the thing is, we both are, we're not. First off, you got to understand, like, no one is born knowing everything about the opposite gender. Often we don't know anything about the opposite gender. So it's like, well, you got to learn. Some of us were fed lies. Some of us are deeply impressionable and we're taught that the opposite gender is evil. And in some cases, yes, they are. Women suck sometimes. I know. I've seen how they are. It's scary. But at the same time, it's really, we don't want to accept that maybe relationships and marriage was a utility rather than a romantic state. Understand? Like, men and women don't need each other anymore. So how does that look like? We're starting to find out that the only reason our ancestors, our grandparents, our parents got together was because of necessity more than love and connection. And here in this generation, we want love and connection to be what keeps us together. But the thing is, both men and women see love in a different way. Men love idealistically, women love opportunistically. So, in a world where survival isn't so much of an issue, and we have the most economic surplus in human history, just housing is expensive and groceries are expensive. But other than that, what will a woman or what will a man, if you're a woman, what will a man even, how do they improve your life? you know so we start looking into things like status. Like, women start to only see men as a status thing, right? That's why they get mad at us when we don't marry them, because we're withholding status from them. They're like, give me my status. It doesn't change the relationship. You'll still love her the same, right? It's that she wants the status of wife. And for men, we want sex and validation from women. And once you can get sex outside of a relationship, and once you become self-actualized and you don't need validation from women, you start to question, what is the point? But ultimately, it's for women. That's for women to answer. It's not for you to think, is this worth it? It's for you. It's for the women to sit down and convince you and be like, hey, it's my job. You were hot enough to get me here, and now it's my job to convince you to give up your other options. So it really isn't that men and women are the problem. It's just we're in a different world. People are using old order thinking, the entitlement, and entitlement goes both ways. Women are entitled, men are entitled. Got it. Um, and you ha- it is now, you cannot rely on a paycheck to keep a girl around, because women earn their own money. So focus on being awesome. Become self-actualized. Stop needing validation from women. Stop needing outcome independence. If she leaves tomorrow, will you be able to not fall apart as a man? Right? So things like that. Cool. Yeah, we have ignorance on both sides. Yeah. I mean, I can't really coach women. Right? The only thing is, men are a little bit better off if they put in the work, because men can self-reflect. Men, we kind of understand that when we suck and how we suck. Um, if they're honest with themselves, and they can go from there. Women, it's really tough to get through that, solipsism and the outside influence, right? Their need for status precludes them ever needing to kind of self-reflect. So they're always going to do what they think is best for them. All right. So from a friend, hi, how are you? I'm doing good. I wish my office wasn't water damaged. And the thing is, while moving everything from the office, my big BenQ 32-inch curved monitor cracked. Right, I turned it on and I see these colored streaks and a white spot on it. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And guys, when a monitor screen cracks, that's it. Um, there's nothing you can do. You can't fix it. So I have to dump it off at Best Buy. It's all right. I like that one. I've had it since like the end of 2022 into 2023. It was a one of my favorite monitors that I've ever had. So sad. Uh, and last night I went to cosplay. I had a lot of fun on cosplay as Cloud. Big hit. I'm all right. Doing all right. Could be better, but we're doing all right. Let's see. All right. If you were 16 and just starting with women, what would your bullet points be to memorize? If I was 16, I'm gonna read that again. If you were 16 and just starting with women, what would your bullet points be to memorize? Um, all right. All right. The first thing that I would memorize is rejection isn't personal. I think when you're younger, you tend to be very you tend to like revolve your life around other people's opinion. You're not self-actualized yet. You haven't achieved enough yet. You're still a kid. So the first thing I would tell my 16-year-old self would be like, "Hey, rejection isn't personal, right? It's not about you. It's about her, and it's just be about being the right guy at the right time, right?" I would say too that she's not yours, just your turn. You know, younger guys tend to be very possessive of women and entitled to the outcome, to the perfect life. And then number three is just the whole women love differently. Like women aren't us, and that's really a lot of the younger guys struggle is that they can't believe that women would abandon them or they have abandonment issues. And I'm like, well, they do what's best for them and get over it. So do what's best for you. So those are the things I would tell my 16-year-old self. And then shoot, just keep shooting. All right. What is your opinion of Melania Trump? Oh, interesting. From a red pill perspective, Melania Trump is I like her. Personally, I like her because she doesn't talk a lot, right? And she doesn't have main character syndrome. And a lot of women that are attached to high status men, or just as a matter of fact, almost any relationship, they have a big fear of disappearing. Remember, from the point a woman is 14 nowadays, all the way until her until she is an adult, all the way up until whatever age, she is on social media getting fed that she is the main character from the beginning. So you date one of these women, and on the outside you see like high status. She doesn't like to date guys below stat. Got it. Whatever. That's not a problem because she doesn't want to date you. It's not your problem. Women that you're not dating or don't like you are not your problem. However, when you date a woman like the average woman now, right? There is a this kind of like necessity to be the main character. You start to feel like an accessory sometimes, and you got to stop it like right away. You have to tell her, "Hey, you're not doing this. I'm not doing this TikTok with you. We're not duetting a TikTok. We're not this. We're not that. I am your husband. I am your boyfriend. You listen to me, right? And you're not posting anything about me unless it's with my permission." And I know that sounds a little bit, dominant, but it's for the relationship. Like you're protecting the relationship. So what I like about Melania Trump is that she seems to understand her role. She understands what it is, right? And that's, I guess, the old players. Like I would say, someone like Patrice O'Neill or any other the old guys of old. They liked in their day that women knew their role. Men, we like when women are their role because it's easier for us to kind of like classify women and put them in where they're supposed to be. So we're living a confusing time, and the time is we don't know what women are. We don't know what their roles are in our life. It's confusing. You can see, like, okay, here's something that confused me today. That woman that's really hot, I guess, is I think was 50 Cent's baby mama and did a freak off with Diddy. I forgot. She's a very attractive woman. Um, and she's on a she's on a podcast with that DJ Academics guy, and obviously he's trying to get laid, so he's using his podcast. Most guys use their podcast as a way to get laid. Come on, like you're not providing value entertainment. You just want to. We're not stupid, right? Great. And they're doing like sexual flirting, very kind of cringe, right? But what's her role in anyone's life? She's been an industry hoe. She's a mother. She's now another industry hoe for podcasters. Just like what is your point? Like what and you're gonna meet women in your personal life, and you're not gonna know what the hell they're supposed to be to you, right? And that's why we say the relationship is her problem. Let her figure it out. Let her be because defining a relationship is unattractive. That's for her. She wants to wonder what you are. Number two, um, when you let her define the relationship, then that's when you can take it or leave it. When you want to define a relationship, you have to fight against human behavior and her past programming, right? So if you say I want to be your girl or I want to be your boyfriend and all that, and she's like, "Yay," but she doesn't know what a girlfriend is, being a girlfriend is. And a lot of women don't. They think being a girlfriend is getting pictures taken of you and going somewhere and going to a yeah, Daphne Joy. Going to a pumpkin patch and then doing stuff and then taking pictures to prove to everyone that you're happy. I'm like, no. Being a girlfriend is like preparing to have a family and cooking and cleaning. It sounds boring. Like not that you have to clean after someone, but you have to like, you know, it's not that. So a lot of guys will date women and they don't understand like what's her purpose here. And that goes to my first point. It's like, are women necessary for you to be happy or to be content? You have all these systems as a man in place. You have a way to invest. You have the way to go work out. You have a way to come home from work and prepare meals. You have your whole routine. And as men, we love our routines, right? And then someone comes in and either complains about your routine, tells you that they don't like your routines, cooks food, but it's less good than your food, fucks less than the hose that you see on the street, or fucks not as good. And then, you start wondering what's the role here? So women like that are rare. Women that understand their role. There are girls that want to be girlfriends that don't have the skills or don't know how to be girlfriends. And there are hoes that I've met, that I've dated casually, that would have been great girlfriends. And isn't that crazy? And that's one of the inflection points of dating, is that you'll meet women that are just desperately want to be in a relationship, just, full on bitch about it, complain about it, talk about it, make TikToks about it, whatever. They get in one and they just suck at being a girlfriend, like just a headache, whatever. Um, and there are women that are just don't want to be in a relationship. They just want to go out there and have sex with multiple men and live the whole lifestyle. And they'll date one and they'll come over and make good food. They'll have sex with you, give you a massage. They respect your time. And yeah, you're just like, what an inversion, right? What an inversion. And that's what dating is about. It's about learning the game and learning about women and not thinking everything is the way the internet says, is to kind of see this shit yourself. Like, don't even believe me. Go out there and date a little bit. You'll find that there's just some hoes that are good at nurturing, that are feminine. Right? I've met women that are girlfriend material and complete freaks in bed, are just pervy girls. And I was like, hey, like, how the hell is this girl not married yet? Like, she's decent, and it's just they don't want. And so, eventually, you're gonna have to understand women have agency. Women make choices, and it's not like they're a slot machine or they're like a computer or an algorithm where you input the command or input something and the exact same thing comes out. You could be hot and awesome and everything, and girls will be like, "Nah, I just want to have sex with you," you know. And then you can be the same, and a girl's like, I want to be your girlfriend, even though I'm worthless to you in a relationship. So whatever. All right. Let's see. So yeah, I like Melania Trump because she doesn't talk, she knows her role, and she isn't trying to outshine the president. Got it. Okay. What would your top five of the hottest woman in the world currently be? Well, first off, my girlfriend. Hottest woman in the world? I mean, I don't know, like celebrity wise, I've always had a thing for Jessica Biel. I think what's her name? Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Ranger when she was young was gorgeous. Um, trying to see who else is freaking gorgeous. Man, I had a crush on this is messed up too. I used to have a crush on Cassie, the Diddy's freak off coordinator and girlfriend. I used to think she was cute. She was my type, brown, all that. But after finding out of what she did, I'm kind of like, I kind of fell off with that girl. So, and yeah, I've never been into the skater girl aesthetic. Avril Lavigne, this yeah, Jessica Biel, I liked her. I just like horse face. Like I have like several types. I think I have my four types. So type one is horse face white girls. Women with long faces, lips, nose, like that's one of my types. And I like tall, thick white women. I do not like short white women. I like taller, thicker white women. And that's just my thing. Uh, and then my second type would be nerdy Latinas. So there's not a lot of famous Latina women that are nerdy that have that look because all Latinas are kind of like pigeonholed or funneled into being like the sexy, fiery archetype. So those are my types. And then the other type would be um, I like Southeast Asian women. So I'm trying to give an example of Southeast. Who's a actress, Southeast Asian actress in Hollywood? Uh, trying to think. The thing is, I don't watch a lot of movies anymore, so I don't really have any celebrity crushes. Yeah, I thought Lucy Liu was attractive. Um, I also thought the girl from Squid Game. I thought she was cute, but it's just that those girls I never see, never interacted, never even like girls that are like East Asian and me. I've never really have I flirted, have I maybe whatever, but no, I just never been too into East Asian like that. It's always Southeast Asian. So I don't know any Southeast Asian actresses, but yeah, that's one of my types. And any height. So we have nerdy Latina or tall, thick white woman with horse faces. Uh, yeah. So who's the actress from Jurassic Park? What's her name? And I always forget her name. She's a redhead. Jurassic World. Sorry. What's her name? Bryce Dallas Howard. Yeah, I think she's awesome. Um, you know what? I would say Dolly Parton when she was young. I think young Dolly Parton is very hot, and she's one of those women. Yeah, she's young Dolly Parton was gorgeous, man. You guys see this? Holy crap! Yeah, and yeah, young Dolly Parton, she was a baddie. And you know what? She hasn't aged that bad. She looks like she's done her makeup, but the thing is with Dolly is that she seemed to understand men's sexuality and played into it. She was very flirty, very womanly, very feminine. And I think that's what's missing a lot with like modern actresses. Obviously, it's just the zeitgeist, but it's just they lack that feminine mystique, that kind of flirtiness. I think a lot. Dolly Parton reminds me a lot of Marilyn Monroe, like very flirty, kind of like that, very almost seductive. So yeah, I think young Dolly Parton is one of my top five. Older Dolly Parton, well, she's old, so I don't know, but yeah. The thing is, young Dolly Parton, she looked like an average. She's just like your average cute girl, just like a dorky smile, almost a little. Her smile is a little gummy and dorky, and she just smile a lot. She's just happy. She's just like a happy woman. She's a very happy woman. So yeah, women now are always pouting like the Kardashians. Yeah, I don't like the Kardashian look. You know, so Jessica Alba, yeah, Jessica Alba. Let me see. Jessica Alba. Yeah, Jessica Alba's I like her. She's cute. She's like girl next door hot. Yeah, Jessica Alba's girl next door hot. I've always thought she was cute. Overrated, perhaps, but very cute. Looks very attainable. Yeah. Um yeah, Anna de Armas though, but Anna de Armas is like they spammed her too much on, you know. You say Wu Yanni? Let's see, Wu Yanni. Yeah, because a lot of these Yanni. She's a athlete? Yeah. I mean, listen, man, like as you get older, you're gonna realize that any woman that's not fat is a 7 out of 10. I stand by that. I don't care. Hannah Jeter, Megan. Yeah, I'm not into Megan Fox. I like brunettes, but I like Latina brunettes. Uh, for a white woman, I like brown hair. Yeah, Megan Fox is gorgeous. She's like top of the line girl. She's absolutely, but Megan Fox just gives me obsessed with clout and crazy woman. Like, there's not really shred of innocent femininity in her, right? So, yeah. This woman who played Precious is really fire. Kate Beckinsale. I forgot how she looks like. Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, Kate Beckinsale's. Yeah, yeah. And she aged well. It looks like she aged well. Good for her. Yeah, she's a hot girl. Like women, white women with nice lips too that are natural. It's always looks good on them. So, okay. Let's move on to the next question. Talking about hot women, I could do this all day. Daisy, Edgar Jacobs. Yeah. I just don't understand like Zendaya. Sydney Sweeney is like it's just Sydney Sweeney isn't hold on. Sydney Sweeney just it's kind of obvious that it's the tits, but that's just me. All right. Let's keep moving. What are your top 5 red flags you look for in women? Well, as I said, guys, vetting doesn't work. So red flags, I can tell you things that annoy me in women, but it depends on what part of the relationship. Like first meeting, manners. I am big on manners. I don't like women that don't have manners. Like I can't stand burping, and if you do, cover your mouth. Um, the way you eat and stuff. I just don't like masculine women. I like women with manners that are classy. And you'll be surprised, even women that look classy don't have manners, right? They just don't understand how to act in public, right? Because there's always around their friends and all that stuff. So yeah, good manners. Obviously the one that everyone pisses everyone off, treating wait staff or treating service personnel very badly. That's instant like, Jesus, like how you gonna treat the waiter or the waitress bad? I don't like that. Let me see another thing that I don't like. Performative sexuality. And that's like it's getting pretty bad, but I don't like women that like pretend to be slutty or just try too hard to be slutty, right? I understand that you got to get attention and you're a woman. I get that part, but it's getting kind of ridiculous. It's getting, it's getting to the point where it's like, how am I? Listen, I go on Pinterest sometimes and I look up male fashion, and sometimes I see sprinkled in as female fashion, like looks, girls, like look books or like like a page of looks, and I just click on it and I see what girls are wearing these days. And a lot of what they're wearing is like I like. I'm like, wow, it's like sexy and cute, which it's hard to reconcile this though sometimes for the ladies, but I'm like, yeah, this is like, you look hot, but you're still, but when I see women just putting as much as they can out there, it like kills part of their femininity to me. It makes them look so desperate for attention that it's just like it's performative. And it's even worse if it's awkward for them, right? Like you can tell some women are just like slutty and they're just awkward that it's just not them. I'm like, hey, just you don't got to do this, but hey, it's their life and their body. And then another thing is just bad hygiene. Like, keep your nether regions clean. It don't have to be completely shaved. Just keep them clean. And if you can't, that's why I have, or I used to have wipes in my apartment. So when women come over, they can clean themselves up and all that stuff. So feminine wipes, always have them. So those are my red flags. All right. What is the best compliment any female has given you? Uh, Best compliment. I wouldn't know best, but I know I can give you some of them. Let's see. So compliments that I remember because, whatever. Uh, the best compliments I get as a man are ones where women figure me out and say, I know why you're the way you are. Because it's like they understand. When a woman steps out of her solipsism to try to understand a man, that's pretty impactful, you know. Um they'll say like I've gotten compliments where like, "Hey, I understand why you're so distant or like so reserved. I like that you're reserved because I understand what it is to be." I don't. Okay, I like that you're reserved, and I can see why. I think that's good. Like stuff like that. I don't know what part of my ego that plays into, but I thought it was a good compliment. I think I forgot who said that to me, but I know that it was said. The other one's like a girl once said, "You make me feel safe." You know, it was like the third time I've ever seen her, second or third time, and I'm like, damn, already? You don't even know me, girl. Um, Let me see another one. I don't respond much to smart. It's nice to know that a girl thinks you're smart, but it's just smart is subjective. I'm trying to think. Something that I was told to me recently was that I treat everyone well. And I know a lot of guys would be like, "Oh, when a girl says that, that's a bad thing." I'm like, "Well, after you smash her a couple times, it doesn't mean anything bad, right?" But when someone, there you go, now I understand. When a woman says that you're consistent with everyone, that's a compliment. That's a really good compliment, right? Because as a man, you don't feel appreciated by everyone, but you still treat everyone kind of the same. You still put your head out for them and stick your neck out for them. So when a girl says, "I like that you how you treat others, like your fans, your family," like that says a lot about you. That's wow. I'm like, holy shit. Because women often only care that how you're treating them. But when they step back and they're able to see, hey, what you do for me, you would do for your brother or for your mother or for your friend. Like that's a good thing for a woman to compliment, acknowledge. So, and then physically, I guess I look like a celebrity or something. So, all right. And that's how black women hit on you. They tell you that you look like someone from Empire, which I've gotten a couple times from black women. All right. What's the most memorable date you've been on? Okay, I believe this is on the thumbnail. Uh, good or bad? Well, bad. I went on a date when I was in when I was in nuke school. Barely the dating apps were like I only been on them for a month my whole life. I was on Plenty of Fish, and I matched with a girl, and I walked off base because I didn't have a car yet. She picked me up. We had Burger King in the parking lot of Burger King, and she brought her twin babies to the date. She also catfished me. I thought she was like my skin color. She turned out like super dark, like that screen behind me. And I was like, what the hell? So I ate Burger King and I said thanks, and then I just walked home. That was a really bad date. Another bad date, also in the military. This was like over 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, 16, no, 14, 13 years ago. I went on a date with a girl that I had FaceTimed. Like I did a video call with her. And I didn't know it just showed her face. And then when I went on a date and like, again, I didn't have a car. She picked me up. This is when girls actually like picked guys up and did so much for dating. And I got in the car and she was just huge golem. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Do I just hop out and run? And then we went to Best Buy. We hung out. I forgot what we did, but I know we went to I'm like, hey, can you take him to Best Buy? I want to get something. And then we went to Best Buy or not Best Buy or some the Old Navy. I don't know, whatever it was. And then I said thanks and I went home and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. I FaceTime with her and there was no way I could uh tell. I was very embarrassed. I'm like, wow, I really gotta pay attention because I FaceTimed her and I thought she was thin. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. I was very inexperienced. So other memorable dates, man, memorable dates. It's just I wouldn't say memorable because after a while you just start running the same system. So the dates, like women and dates, start kind of like being the same. Like nothing really steps out. There are certain women in my life that the whole experience really stuck out. I write about them in my book. You're gonna hear about them in my book, but there isn't. I could tell you moments that like there were women that admitted they were virgins to me on a date with almost tears in their eyes. That kind of impacted me a little bit, right? Because these women are scared. Like, see, the internet tells you like women don't like you and women don't care about men's standards and whatever. But then you go on a date with a girl and she's nervous and in tears because she's a virgin and she's realizing that she has to give this virginity away if she wants to continue to see you, right? So that's impactful. That kind of like I want to say it messed with me, but it's one of those moments where I didn't even put it in my book. The girl, we only went on 2 dates, but it was just like, look at this girl, man, the pressure she feels. And I was not putting any pressure on her at all. We were just talking about her life, you know. So that was an interesting date. Let me see. I remember one interesting date was when I was dating Violin Girl, which you guys have heard about. If you follow my Substack, you know the story. Um, I don't know if it was the first time we were seeing each other or the second round. I just forget. My brain's wiping, you know. I barely remember, but oh, I think it was the second time. But we went to Age of Times Square in Dallas. She was Vietnamese, and we went upstairs to the claw machines, right, which is very popular. And she paid for like half of the tokens, and I paid for the half, and I won her a whole bunch of plushies, and I gave them to her, right? And this was like a classic high school kind of date where you win all these plushies for a girl, And she told me, I'm like, hey, where are you gonna put all those? She's like, oh, I'm just gonna throw them out when I go home. And I just like that's when I realized this girl no longer likes me that much. She's trying to get away from me. And I think maybe she just enjoyed the sex and she just enjoyed, a guy that was conventionally masculine or whatever. But at that moment, that was kind of impactful too, right? Just knowing that she wanted to get away from me, I kind of finally learned in that moment that I could sometimes tell when a girl's done with me before she knows that she's done with me. So, yeah, so after that, I think we texted a little bit, maybe hooked up one or two more times, and then at the end of our time together, she invites me to a concert. And that day, she comes over and gets all her board games because she dropped off a whole bunch of board games. And I go to the concert. She texts me saying, "Hey, could you sit here instead? So my friends can sit together." So I was like, I thought that was weird. I already know her friends. Why don't they want us to sit each other? And then I went to the concert, saw her play, and then I said thanks. And I knew from that moment on I would never see her again. So I just went home. She never texted me back after that. Um, you know, looking back now, maybe I shouldn't have gone to the concert and watched her play. Maybe she was freaking out, like, "Oh, he's coming," and I try to get rid of him, and I'm scared, blah blah blah. But she never told me not to come, or she never said anything. She just, and I kind of maybe that was kind of fucked up of me. She had this big concert. Thing is, it was like a video game concert, and I love video game arrangements. That's like one of my favorite things. So I just like I want to see this. So I went and saw it, and then I saw her play for one last time, and that's it. That was pretty impactful too. I'm trying to think of another date that was just so many, man. I could talk all night about crazy dates I've been on. I would say most of the memorable dates I've been on were when the girl was hotter than I thought, was nicer, more feminine than I thought, was more nervous than I thought, and we hooked up. But honestly, guys, like when I figured out the system in 2021, most dates were good. I enjoyed, and that's the flex, right? Like I enjoyed dating. Come on, how many guys say that? Every guy's like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here as soon as I can." The first girl that like doesn't give me a headache, I'm like, "No, dude. Like I loved it. I loved it. It just it made me feel alive. Like making girls laugh, making them feel good, having a plan, seeing their eyes light up when I held them by the hand and guided them, and we sat on a rooftop in Dallas. Yeah. All right. Um, what would your keys to keeping a relationship going? Well, frame. Frame is number one. Frame is everything. So understand frame, learn it, reinforce it, know the tetrahedron of frame. And have a mission. Your mission is not your woman. It's your mission is your desires. So keep that in mind. Um, and always have one foot out the door. Now, it doesn't mean like you actively tell her you're going to leave. That's not what we mean. Foot out the door means she's got to feel that like she is 2 or 3 fights away from losing you, and that sounds fucked up, but it's what keeps her happy and wanting to be a better person. It's an incentive, right? It doesn't make her listen. Women will say that she needs comfort in a relationship, blah blah blah, and they do. However, she also needs to understand that you're not here to put up with literally everything she does all the time. You can't. She will hate you as well. She knows that she sucks. So when you treat her awesome, she says, "What's wrong with this guy? This guy's stupid." So yeah, have your foot out the door, frame, and have a mission besides make mommy happy. So, all right. Uh, if you could change anything in your life, what would that be and why? I wish I would have started this YouTube stuff a little earlier, but I mean, I started when okay. If I were to change anything in my life, what would that be and why? Better financial decisions early on. That's pretty much it. And obviously doubting myself at certain points in my life, and then realizing in retrospect that I just way off. I'm better off than most people are. So yeah, that would be what I would change. Better financial education early on, or decisions. Sorry. What resources would you recommend when it comes to learning about female nature? Well, there's my Substack, there's my Twitter, but my Twitter is just, it's more shock value than anything. There's my streams, anything I do. But most guys' starting point is Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. And then from there, they go to Rational Male, Rich Cooper's book, and then Ryan's books, and then maybe Jack's book, and then my upcoming book and all that. But there's plenty. Just know um, what resources, just look at it like this: dating women, sex is a problem. It is a problem, but it's solvable. However, watch, listen, and pay attention to guys that like treat this like a mechanical issue, not you know, not the doom and gloom that everyone else tries to shill to you. It may sound doom and gloom in the beginning because you're just so blue pilled, but after a while, if I'm telling you, hey, go to a bar and check it out first before you go on a date there, and you're still like, it's too much work, then it's not me. I'm not the doom and gloom guy. You are. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know what doom and gloom is. And it's when I tell guys to do simple shit, like give a shit about their dating life, and they're just like, that's too much work. And I'm like, well, then what do you want, dude? Like, there is no time machine. We're not going back to a time when women liked you for you. Sorry, liked you because you had a paycheck and your house was 3 times smaller and you had to go to war or work in a factory. We're not going to that time. So no one cares that you're not getting laid. Matter of fact, I prefer, and all of us prefer you don't because it's easier for everyone else. But if you want to do this, you're gonna have to, you know, give a shit, put in some effort. And it's not a lot. So, um, yeah, follow that chain. I honestly just start with the rational male because that's the fundamental understanding of the red pill. There's a sidebar. Sidebar is good too, but I would not start the sidebar before rational male. Right. Um, sidebar is helps you to develop the emotional pillar of frame, right? Because you can have all the frame in the world, but if you don't know how to establish a boundary, if you don't know how to shut down an argument with a woman, then you can get all the sex in the world, and you're always you're gonna be still angry, still stressed because you haven't developed that. But if you to start to get you out of if to get red pilled, rational male. All right. All right, let's see. What did you learn about female bodies that really shocked you? Uh, what did I learn about female bodies that really shocked me? Well, I mean, and let me think back to my past girlfriends. There was a girl that got on birth control and her boobs got bigger, maybe half a cup to a cup bigger. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Um, what else did I learn about women's bodies that uh most women don't understand the difference between ejaculation and peeing during sex. Like, you have to tell them, "Hey, it's not pee." That's their own body. They don't even understand their own body. Um, Let me see another thing about women's bodies that they don't that shocked me. Oh, how fast they get drunk. I used to think that being drunk was uh it had to do a lot with weight and fat, how much fat is in your body, but no, women just get drunk much faster. And there's a reason for that. I forgot the reason. So that's why I would there were days where I had to cut women off or try to slow them down or like, hey, let's have some water because you'd be surprised how fast women drink and how fast they get drunk. Like it's just like whoa. Um, I think they process alcohol slower, so it stays in their body longer or something. Let me see what else. Mm, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see. All right, next one. Uh, if you could design the perfect woman, how would you design her? The perfect woman, honestly, there is no perfect woman. I know that's the no one wants to hear that answer, but honestly, the perfect woman is just the basis of a perfect woman is that she understands the difference between men and women and accepts it. That is everything stems from there. I don't care and fit, but not obsessively fit. So it's like, I'm pretty. Like that's it. Like you'd be surprised how much little you care about a woman's looks when she understands like, hey, when it's time to leave you alone, what not to bring up, how not to talk to you. That's worth more than anything, honestly. That's an incredible. So that's perfect woman is just that. A girl that understands the difference between men and women and accepts it too. Those women go far with men. So all right. Best compliment. Let's see. How do you stay calm when a woman tries to shame and guilt you? Ooh, I like this question. So during your life, right? You're going to you're gonna be seen as the villain. And you're gonna try not to be. You're gonna be like, I'm not the bad guy. I'm a good person. I'm a good guy. But here's the thing. Stop trying to be the good guy. Stop trying to like come across as that. It doesn't matter what you do or how good you are or how good of a person you are. People don't care. You as a man, the default you are is an asshole, is a bad person, is selfish, is even if you're not a player, you're a player. Even if you're not a cheater or you backstab people, that's what you do. Yeah, are there movements where like men ain't so bad? Sure, but the under societal understanding is that men can't be trusted. We can be trusted to build buildings, to fly planes, to captain ships, to deliver materials, to drive trucks, but we can't be trusted as heads of households. We can't be trusted as men that with sexual needs, you know, all these things. So you are the villain. No matter how good you are, you will be seen as the villain. That doesn't mean go scorched earth and just not care. But at the same time, no matter what you do, you're a bad person. So just do what you want and act like you want, as long as you don't go to jail or hurt anyone. Because it doesn't matter what you do. Because if it was up to women, they would have you qualifying to their moral standard for their whole life, for your whole life. And really, a lot of men do that. So when women try to shame and guilt me, you just double down, agree and amplify. You know, why are you talking to other women? Uh, well, I, I, I'm not a good person. I just like other women. Why are you like this? Why don't you take me out more? Because I don't want to. Because I don't like you. I hate you. Like agree and amplify. Even if you don't, agree and amplify. You are the villain, right? And when women complain about men, they're complaining about the men they like, her type. That's normal. A complaining woman is a happy woman. So, so guys, if you have questions, please super chat because I'm not going to be answering two chats here. Let's see. Biggest dating failure you ever had? Yeah, I think it was that one. The chick with the babies. the twin babies on the Burger King parking lot. Really, that was the worst thing I've ever been on. But I'm glad I got out the way early. I had not had a date that bad since. Have I been catfished since? Yes, but um, it wasn't so bad that I was like, "Holy crap!" I would just cut after an hour. I'd be like, "Hey, I gotta get going. Nice to meet you." And then I just would leave, right? But yeah, I think yeah, that was my biggest dating fail. So actually, I did meet a Dominican girl a couple years ago, early 2023, summer 2023. And we went to a bar, we talked, and then I invited her over, she came over, and she was drunk. She was too drunk. I'm like, fuck. She's- I thought she was fine. She didn't see. I guess the alcohol hit her as soon as she got into my apartment, and we were talking, and I tried to make a move, I tried to kiss her, and then she laughed, pulled back, and then slapped me in the face. And I got really scared. I'm like, fuck, this girl just hit me. But she was laughing. And I'm like, I gotta get her the fuck out of here. This is starting to scare me. So, she got on the phone. Someone called her in that moment and she got on the phone. And I'm like, started like, getting up, pretending to be busy. And then I kind of, she, she let herself out. Or I said, hey, I got some things to do. And she left. Never talked to her again. But yeah, that was a big date fail. And that's the last time I ever went out with a Dominican woman my whole life. So she was Americanized Dominican, so that's different. All right. What's your go-to thing to say when breaking up with a girl you only wanted to have sex with? My go-to. Breaking up with a girl you only wanted to. Well, most of the time I was there. It wasn't that it was like most of the time I was just the fun sex guy. There really isn't any go-to. There isn't anything. It's just you just say, "Hey, I'm not interested in a relationship with you," and that's it. And like there is no go-to. There is no smooth thing to say. Just say I'm not interested in a relationship with you. So, all right. Do you see yourself married within the next 5 years? Yeah, I actually do. I do see myself married. Next question. You often say high barriers of entry bring in hotter chicks, but they are there for a reason. Wouldn't they be high maintenance? It wouldn't be you be trying to perform on a content basis. No, that's just your neuroticism, man. Like, I'll tell you this. Um, Stop worrying about like you talking to a girl and going on a date with a girl isn't you signing up for anything. You guys understand that? When guys go on dates or when the internet autism dating discussions happen, a lot of it is just neurotic fan fiction about something that could happen if the guy isn't careful, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, listen, let's say you go to a party, you pay $300 to get in, like I did, a New Year's party. And all I saw there were like tall women with big boobs, pretty woman, and got it. High barrier entry. These women probably got in there for free, but they were nice. None of them, I never got the feeling that any of them thought they were better than me. It was like we're all even playing ground. Got it. But when, let's say I was single and I took one of these girls out and we went on a date, what happens? Do I have to, I just say, hey, let's go try this bar. And she shows up and we talk and hey, let's say things go when we hook up. What happens after that? You're not signing up for anything. You are hooking up. You're just having sex. Now let's say you go on a date and she doesn't want to hook up with you. Did anything bad happen? Yeah, maybe you're out $70, but that's it. Right. So it's like you're entering with this mindset of, oh, I gotta perform to for this girl, high maintenance for what? If you go on a date, you hook up, and then she says, "I want you to take me to an expensive dinner place," and she starts being naggy or asking for stuff from you like that, then she's she's out the game. She's out the stand. She's out your lineup, right? She's more trouble than she's worth. You didn't sign up for that, right? That's the thing about abundance. Like you start to realize that you don't have to deal with this. Yeah, you want to have sex with her, but it, at the cost of what? Your dignity, your money, your time, and you're not even sure you're going to get it. So it's like, yeah, there's not. Wouldn't they be high maintenance and wouldn't you be trying to perform on a constant basis? No, I wouldn't be trying to perform. I would just ask her to see her again if we're hooking up. And then if 2 or 3 dates have gone by and nothing, then hey, sayonara. You're not signing up for anything by asking a girl out and going on a date. All right. Do you feel like it's a waste of life to spend your life with one woman if you had an adventure prior to her? And that's so yeah, I see what you're saying. Not really. If you're happy, like if you're with a girl that you've never um if you got married young and you didn't sow your royal oats, you're always gonna have that doubt. But realize too that if you're happy and you're getting your needs met, if you can't sleep at night because you want to try different girls, there are options. You could do it clandestinely. Not the best idea, but it could save your marriage. I know that's messed up, but it could save your marriage. You could go out and be like, "Hey, I've never been with a Latina. I just got to get out of my system." And you go do it. Obviously, you accept the consequences if you get caught. You don't cry, kick and scream. You're just like, well, or you just say, "Hey, it's not worth the risk," and you don't do that either, right? But um, it depends on how much does it bother you? Like, are you losing sleep over it, or it's just like a passing, like, oh, I wonder what's like. Uh, but yeah, that's my answer. So let's see. I think the rest of these are from the app itself. Yep, from a friend. Okay. How to set frame in a hostile conversation with your girl. Okay. Well, there is a book called I think No More Mr. Nice Guy, where it talks about setting boundaries and using your assertive Bill of Rights, right? Let me pull them up because I don't have them memorized. Where's my mouse? Oh, there we go. Assertive Bill of Rights. Okay, so there's this assertive Bill of Rights from the book, right? No More Mr. Nice Guy. Um, trying to bring it up here. Crap. Trying to find a good graphic here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you have an assertive Bill of Rights, and an assertive Bill of Rights basically it is like the things that you can um that you have to understand about when you have conflict with someone or a contentious disagreement with someone. Crap, I can't find a good graphic. They're all like take me to okay, here's one that's Instagram, but let's see. Okay, so here's from Instagram. You have the right to judge your own behavior, thoughts, and emotions and take responsibility for their initiation and consequences upon yourself. Um, you have the right to say no. You have the right to offer no reasons or excuses for justifying your behavior. So if you're having a contentious argument with a woman about like who ate the last cupcake or something, or who ate the last cookie, she really wanted the cookies, and she's like, "You're an asshole. Why did you eat the last cookies?" You can just say, "I just felt like eating them." Well, why? Well, I just felt like eating them. Don't you feel bad for eating the cookies? Not really. I just wanted to eat the cookies. Um, Here's another one. You have the right to judge if you're responsible for finding solutions to people's problems. You're not in charge of fixing everyone's problems, right? You have the right to change your mind. That means that if you can come back and be like, "Hey, actually, I do feel kind of bad for eating the cookies." You can do that. You can change your mind. No one's saying you can't. Um, you have the right to disagree with someone's opinion. You don't always have to agree. Like, hey, I disagree with the fact that I'm an asshole for eating your cookies. I thought they were just cookies. I ate them. You have the right to disagree, or you have the right to make mistakes and be responsible for them. Hey, I ate the cookies and I will buy you new ones. That's it. Um, you have the right to say, I don't know. Why did you eat the cookies? I don't know. You can say that. And that's it. There's like, I don't know. You have the right to be illogical in making decisions. Why did you eat the cookies? Didn't you eat? Didn't you already have cookies at your job? Whatever. Uh, I don't know. I have no idea. I just wanted to eat the cookies. So, uh, you have the right to say, I don't understand. Right. So she would be like, well, if they weren't yours, why did you why did you go eat what okay, if I bought the cookies, what makes you think that they were yours? You can just say, "Hey, I don't understand what you're talking about, what you're getting at. I put food in the fridge too, and you can eat it. I don't understand." Right? You could say that. Um, and you have the right to say, "I don't care." And that one's powerful. And you're gonna be using that one a lot with women. You can say, "I don't care." And then you have your methods like a broken record where, "Hey, why did you eat the cookies?" "Because I was hungry." "But aren't you an asshole? Why did you eat them?" "Because I was hungry." You made me feel bad." I'm like, "I know, I understand, but I was hungry." Right? That's negative assertion. All those things. So yeah, look into that book. That is on the sidebar. It's very important. And that's how it's not about winning a conflict, but it's just handling a hostile conversation, handling a conflict. It doesn't mean that you'll get what you want. Doesn't mean that you'll get the compromise you want. It's anything. It's just simply how to be assertive. That's it. It doesn't mean you're going to get the perfect outcome. It's just how to be assertive. And a lot of guys in the red pill miss this because to them, it's about kicking the bitch to the curve and showing her who's boss and getting rid of her the minute she disrespects you. I'm like, that's not a real human relationship, right? People are going to disagree. Everyone disagrees at some point in your life. You want your wife to be a yes machine automaton, you'll get bored, you know? So, yeah. Let's get a super chat.
Thank you so much, best friend.
Frankie Forza won with a 9.99. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I was out of the game for a while and I finally got in shape. I want to go out again. A lot of friends don't want to hang out. How do I meet women solo? I get overwhelmed going out alone. Appreciate you. Okay, well, what do you like to do? Do you like to salsa dance? What are your interests? Go, are your interests things that women also participate or women are around? Okay. Go to those places often. Your friends don't want to hang out, understandable, probably because things are expensive or they're not good friends or they're busy, whatever. If you keep going to these places over and over, you'll make friends there. And you don't have to beg people in the group chat to go to those places because whoever shows up, right? So eventually you stop having to text people or tell people, hey, I'm going to be here. You just go, and whoever's there is there. And you're going to see the same people. You're going to be friends, and there's probably going to be women around. And you're building a social circle because you're getting to know people. You're nice. So it's not you're not even going out alone anymore. You're going to where your friends are. So you're gonna feel more comfortable because you know the terrain and you know the people. So when girls come in, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I know I'm familiar with this place. I have status." And bonus if you make friends with the girls there too, because then they'll introduce you to their friends. Right? That is really the way to make friends in 2026 because your friends that you had from like an old job or you made maybe last year or whatever, they're not wanting to go out with you. Then what you gonna do? Gonna keep begging them? You're gonna get tired. Just go to where you like to the things you like to do, and eventually you'll see the same people. They're gonna be like, "Hey, dude," and then like within a month, you're gonna have first name basis. You're gonna hang out, and then so on and so forth. Right? You don't. I call it the watering hole method. But you do that enough, you'll start to feel comfortable. The only problem here is that you have to find something where women are at, because a lot of us have interests, but our interests scare the hoes, right? There's not going to be women at certain events or certain things. It's going to be male centric. And if there are women, sometimes it's going to be they're the minority, and every other guy is going to be sucking up to them, right? So this is what you do. Do that. Go repeatedly. Enjoy yourself. Have a social life. It's like what you like doing, right? It could be hiking. It could be this. Just make sure it's a social thing, and at least a quarter of the people there are um are women. And at first, don't hit on all the girls. Don't hit on them. Be friends. I don't care if she's your perfect type and everything, blah blah. Just befriend them. Tell them you got a girlfriend, or no, don't tell them you got a girlfriend, but like tell them, treat them like friend zone them right away, build trust, because women are the ones that like they're not going to trust you. They're going to be like, who's this new guy that's here? She's trying to have sex with us. We don't trust him, right? Instead, treat them like your sister. What's up, homies? Dap them up. Let them know that you're just the homie. Tell them a good way to friend zone women is to tell them about your girl problems. Like, I just got on a bad date. You know how it is. Dap them up, whatever you got to do. And, they'll be like, oh, this guy's cool. He's trustworthy. And over time, they're just going to bring a new girl in. And he's like, oh, this is Nuke. And she's going to shake your hand. She's going to be like, wow, this guy's kind of cute. And that's how you do it, right? And that's how you're going to get the hotter chicks. And you're doing what you love. You're gaining status. You're gaining friends. And you're getting sex and women much easier. So there you go. There's my $10 answer for you. Good luck, bro. All right, we got a huge $4.99 or $49.99.
Thank you so much, best friend.
Matthew W, familiar face, with the $49.99. Late work, was able to listen in. Schedules have changed, but nice to catch a Nuke stream like years prior. Still appreciate, and as always, brother has some of the best understandings of these matters. The Instagram shorts have been a nice addition. Hey, man, thanks. Yeah, I'm working, man. I'm putting in work. Man, I take this seriously. I take this stuff seriously. I wish I could do it full time. I can't yet, but I take this seriously. I like to have fun. I don't take myself seriously on a date with women, but anything before this, the preparation, the understanding, and the dealing with women, 100% serious. It is life or death for me. However, when I have the woman around me in front of me, I'm chill. So don't take this so literally, guys, but take it seriously. It's your life. It's your mental health. It's I just got a message today about a guy who told me he was thinking about offing himself. And that's fucked up. I don't like getting messages like that, because what am I supposed to say? What the fuck am I supposed to say to that? But you know what? I just tell them, hey, listen, dude, this is what it is. I'm going to be honest with you. This is what it is. This is why you're feeling this way about a girl. This is why you're feeling hopeless. This, and that. Here are your options. These are your options. Because sometimes guys just want to know, what are your options? And my option is, this is another option. Being better and being relaxed and not worrying so much about women. Remember I said earlier, hey, there's a flex in enjoying dating. That's the ultimate flex. What's the point of all this money and status if you don't enjoy women? Right? I enjoy the whole process, from matching, texting. Yes. Are there going to be a lot of dead leads? Yes. But you didn't meet them. They didn't waste your money. That's why we learned, so we could filter better on dead leads faster, so you don't end up on a date with a girl that doesn't like you and it feels shitty and you have a bad experience, right? It's protection. It's extreme sports. You wear the right equipment. You have the right training. That way, when you hit the slopes, you're not crashing into trees and being out for 3 months out of an injury. Instead, you have the training, so when that tree starts coming at you, you dodge. And if you do hit a tree, you know exactly how to take the hit and how to treat yourself and how to recover faster, you can get back out there. And that's the whole point of the red pill. It's not just to talk endlessly about women and be a testicular cancer meeting. It's about getting shit done. It's about doing. It's about, hey, one foot in front of the other. You're depressed. Focus on work, gym, food, sleep. Any projects you have, pause them. Any events, pause them. Call a friend once in a while. Don't tell them, don't, if you have to vent, obviously vent. Don't vent forever. Just be around people that give a shit about you once in a while. And I told him this, and this helped me a lot when I was kind of down a couple years ago. Was it 2022? I don't remember what year. I saw some Indian guru guy. I think his name is Sadhguru. And he made this point, and for some reason, it clicked for me. Our brains are too powerful for our bodies. Our brains are supercomputers. Our brains are overdeveloped, right? We have memories, we have imaginations. We're like one of the only animals that feel sorry for ourselves because our brains are so overpowered. So when a girl leaves you, or when you're having a bad situation with a girl, your brain starts going into overdrive. Like when your laptop or your computer just like heats up, and you feel those fans spinning. It's just heating up, and it like almost, you're like, what the hell? Like, I got to turn this computer off, which is what he wanted to do. But I'm like, no, 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 no. Let the system tire itself out. Let the battery run out. Let the heat leave, right? Because your brain can only produce so much cortisol. It's going to tire itself out. And this is when guys are like, I just feel numb now. I'm like, that's good. That's good. That's your brain going into a different mode. Like, hey, I'm tired of making you feel bad, so I'm going to make you feel nothing. That's recovery, right? And that's what you're supposed to feel. So these are the real messages that I get, and I'm happy to get them, but it's sad. But this is the real work. Women aren't going to change. Taking the fight to them, who cares? Women are not going to change. They're going to be themselves. We have to figure this out, because if we don't, you're going to be in a bad place. And I don't want that for anybody. I've already had it with my friends. I've had to take shifts because a friend of mine tried to end it. And it's not something that it's not a place you want to be in. You can put one foot in front of the other, right? Don't feel embarrassed that you're sad. There's people that we all get sad. We all have more or less the same brains with different IQ differences. Why do you think you're special because you're sad, right? One foot in front of the other, dump all responsibilities, hire a cleaner because cleaning is going to get hard, right? And really when it starts turning around is when another woman is going to be into you. Your job's going to be like, dude, you're doing hard work, so we're going to promote you. And all these things are facets and payoffs for what you did before you lost the girl and got depressed. Isn't that crazy? You were doing great in life. You got the girl. The girl left you, cheated on you, whatever. You're sad, depressed. And you're like, it's all over. I lost it. I lost the girl. There's no reason to keep going. And it's been a month. You could barely get out of bed. Your gym routine's starting to suffer. Your hygiene, And then your job says, hey, man, you've been doing good. We're going to give you a raise. You're going to be like, well, I mean, that's something. 10K more a year, 15K more a year. I appreciate that. It makes me feel a little bit good. And then a week later, a girl's going to be like, I like your shirt. Do you come here often? Like, what's up? Like, you're going to be like, oh. And then one day, dude, you're going to wake up and it's just going to be gone. I remember I left my girl in January 2022. It was my fault. I felt really bad. I was the one that didn't follow up, didn't chase her down, or didn't try to fix the relationship. And I felt really guilty. It was a part of me that I would have never thought I think, yeah, I think the book was When I Say No, I Feel Guilty. It's not No More Mr. Nice Guy. It's When I Say No, I Feel Guilty. That's the book. Thank you for the correction, taught him. But anyways, uh, back to the story. Uh, and I felt really bad. I was having nightmares where I would see her casket. I would walk up to her casket and see her inside, and I was waking up with cold sweats, and I even was waking up screaming. I don't know what it was. I was like, "Damn, my brain is fucked. I'm having nightmares now. What is this?" And then over time, I was like, I kept trying to date, and I was like, eh. And then one day, my boss calls me and says, "Hey," and this is my first time getting a raise at a job ever outside of the Navy. So I was like, "What the hell?" He's like, "Yeah, you're doing a great job. Here's an extra couple thousand a year, extra 10K a year. Enjoy." I'm like, "Oh, what the hell?" And then my friend calls me and says, "Hey man, I appreciate helping me move. I got a pool party, some girls, if you want to come over." And I'm like, what the hell? Okay. And then I go show up to the pool party, and it's chick is there, and I'm not say we hit it off, but it's nice to just be around hot chicks. And then I think Daddy Yankee dropped a new album, and the music reminded me of my childhood or something. And then I was just having White Claws and these little cocktail packages from Puerto Rico that my friend brought. And the sun was hitting me, and I was at the pool, and my physique was still good because I just powered through the gym. And I was like, at that moment, it just lifted. I was like, oh, I'm back. Like I felt alive again. Like everything became more colorful. And then I started dating. I was back at it. But all the effort I did before that, breakup, it was like came again to save me, to lift me up and put me back on. Right? And that's what usually happens. That's how guys get out of the hole. It's like, oh, I'm so depressed. I'm so this. Um, like during COVID, I was really depressed. My job was shit, treating me like shit. I had a guy that was like racist at my job trying to get me fired and lying to the boss about how bad I was. I got yelled at by the cops a week after George Floyd happened. I thought that these guys are going to kill me. Right? Because I cut them off on accident. It was an honest mistake. And they yelled, and I was like, I'm going to get arrested. And then the guy that was with me in the car hated me, and he told my boss, because I was in a company vehicle, instead of saying, "Hey, dude, are you all right, man? You good?" No, instead so I had all these things going on in my head was like, I was not doing well. But I I applied for a job. Oh, and then my truck got stolen, and they blamed me for it. They stole everything. Like a lot of bad things were happening in succession. And then finally I decided I needed change. So I came to Dallas, got this new job, and I realized, oh, this new job. And then I got a better job because of my past experience. Then I started dating. I got a good apartment, and everything just started looking up because of all the sacrifice I did before the shitty situation. So that's how usually guys get out, right? So yeah. All right. So thanks, Matthew, for the 49.99. Know that I take this seriously. So I am not here to waste your guys' time, but and we're here to like be better and win and stop with this doom and gloom. Yes, you're gonna have some doom and gloom in your life, but there's always a way out. There always has been and always will be. So all right. So assertive Bill of Rights. Still had Kate Beckinsale up there. All right. As an obese man, is it even worth trying to date? Or would you suggest putting it off completely until I get my health looks in order? As I'm in the process of losing weight, I have little to no options and can become very frustrated with navigating dating due to my size. Uh, well, I've never been obese, so I can't give you a personalized perspective on this. But being obese is something that I would consider an emergency. You got to put all your effort and every ounce of energy into not being obese. In an ideal world, you would still make a dating profile and still go out there. But listen, you got to do whatever it takes to not be obese. And adding women to this mix, to this mission, is just going to make it hard. Now, if you just happen a girl falls in your lap, go for it, man. But right now, you're 100% all energy is to not be obese, all of it. I don't want to be the guy that says don't date, but like being obese is rough, man. It's your health, your mental health, so many things, your sexual health. Uh, if something falls in your lap, go ahead, get it done. But everything, this is the one monk mode I will accept because it lengthens your life and it changes everything. Hey, what's up, man? It changes everything. So yeah, uh, get unobese first. And when I say get unobese, that's not to say wait until you're completely shredded. I would say uh, wait until you are consistently losing weight and you have a plan set in order, and having 2 drinks ain't gonna mess up your whole flow. 2 drinks with a girl, right? Yeah, get to exactly like Todd M says, get to a functional weight. Until you lose obesity status, focus on all your energy on not being obese because it is your life. It is your health. And, you know, also it'll save you money buying clothes. Like right now, it's just unobese yourself. So, all right. Great question, by the way. Next question. Do you still want a Saturn Sky? I've seen one in real life here in San Diego recently and wasn't impressed. Old and dusty. I myself am looking for a Miata now. Why do you prefer a Saturn? It's just because it's not a Miata. It's just a Miata that's not a Miata. I don't know. It looks cool and it's cheap, but honestly, I'm starting to feel like I want a Porsche. Very humble. I want a Porsche. I kind of want a Porsche. Saturn Sky, I kind of like getting the feeling that they're just a little bit tacky as cars. I feel like if when they're black with good rims, they look pretty cool, but most of them look kind of tacky and aesthetically only look good if you really put in, which they look good. Like I enjoy seeing them, but they're just a little bit tacky now that I think about it. Right. Maybe just a fun car just to drive. One day I'm gonna have that GT3 RS. Yeah. I think I just want a Porsche. And they're on Facebook Marketplace. Let me see what we got here. Oh, no, that's not race. Marketplace. Let's see. Porsche. Yeah, there's 2003 Porsches and 2000 here's a convertible one. It's 13,000. But the thing is, if I'm gonna have a Porsche and all that stuff, it's just one of those things where I gotta like, what's the cart maintenance? What I gotta learn about it, right? I want to obviously I use Facebook Reels or Instagram Reels to see people doing maintenance on Porsches and giving me the lowdown. But it's one of those things where like unless I have a house and tools and a mechanic buddy or someone in my circle that knows a little bit about mechanicking that like I can go personally and see and talk to, then I don't know if I want to have one yet, right? And I don't know, like if I buy a Porsche, how much am I gonna be at the mechanic? How much am I gonna be spending a whole Sunday trying to, replace a belt or do something, right? So we'll see. But very affordable if you want to go older, right? I don't know which Porsche though. I know that the Boxsters are pretty cheap, but all right. Next question. If you guys would like your question prioritized, please super chat. You know what? Let's take a quick break and we'll continue. Where is it? Where is it? You guys remember this? All right. Next question here. I've seen users on X say that paying for escorts is a humiliation ritual because there's no genuine burning desire on her end. My question is, if escorts aren't your only means of getting sex and socialization, active social life and active dating life, and are only used rarely, dry spells, is it still a humiliation ritual? Uh, I mean, are you gonna tell anyone? That's the thing. Like, if you don't tell anyone, it's not a humiliation ritual. No one can humiliate you or say anything if you don't tell anyone. I have my thoughts on this, but first off, it's not a humiliation ritual if you don't tell anyone. And it's not a humiliation ritual if you yourself don't feel humiliated or embarrassed to do it. So those are two things we need to start with. If you want to, if you're using it as something to hold you over from like a dry spell, sure, but realize that uh, the way out of a dry spell, okay, dating is momentum. You don't get out of a dry spell and go back to your former glory immediately. You know, like Return of the Mac, that doesn't happen. It's a messy way out, right? It's a slippery, messy way out. And if you pay for it, what happens with guys that pay is that they get a little bit lazy, right? Like you'll pay for it, you get what you want, you have a good time, and then she leaves. And there's so many things that are taken care of, logistics, her being attractive, knowing the pressure's off because you know you're having sex. You're like paying for a casual sex partner that whatever. And that's great. Cool. You got your needs met. No judgment. However, you're going to have that and then you're going to go out to a party, to an event, to a sports game, to wherever there's girls, and you're going to get turned down by a girl. And you're going to get so mad because you're just like, what the hell? What am I doing? I could just be paying for it and get hotter girls and not get rejected. But the truth is, you see what that does to your brain. It makes you kind of like lazy because you're a man, you're pragmatic. You're meant to save energy and do things that make sense to you. So just be careful with that, right? Be disciplined. Um, if you're gonna do that path, research the laws. Don't get in trouble. Don't do anything illegal. But realize that there's no skills in doing it that way that will get you back in the game. As a matter of fact, it will not get you back in the game. You will not want to go back in the game because it doesn't make sense to you. I'm like, hey, I have an 8 out of 10 girl. And I'm hooking up with her. What's the point of getting back in the game? If you never care for getting back in the game ever again, then sure. Go ahead. I'm not going to tell you what you do with your money. But if you want to get back in the game, there's only one way out, and that's slump bustering a way out. Guys get in their head. We start to doubt ourselves. We start to forget that we're awesome. We lose the swag in our step. And then we can't even get a girl to see what, if you can't see it in yourself, a girl's not going to see it. So, yeah, that's good question. A very good question. All right. Caught my friend reading On Women by Jack Napier. Should I clothesline him? No. Just tell him that there's a better book about to be coming out soon. But I have 2 copies of On Women. Just letting you guys know. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new messages. Let's read these. Can you explain how women control access to relationships? Wouldn't men also control access too? Okay. Yeah, Grimmy asked that. I knew it. I knew Grimmy asked that one. Okay, listen, guys. Women control access to sex. Why? Because you can't have sex without women without it being illegal, and also you wouldn't want to. Most of us are not that type of guy. In light of recent tweets, most of us are not that guy. Why they control access to relationships? Okay, let me ask you this. Can you have a relationship with a woman if you're not having sex with her outside of family? and friends. No. You cannot have a romantic relationship with a woman unless you're having sex. That's called the friend zone, and that's not a real relationship. So there's there. During there, if you get into a relationship with a girl, um, she's not going to be with you unless she perceives some benefit. Men are able to be with women and get nothing out of it. That's why the friend zone exists. But women do not get in relationships with men unless they're getting some benefit. Guys that only see the dating game in terms of transactions will see like, well, there's women that get with fuckboys. I'm like, yeah, those guys provide them something, and that is excitement, fun, drama. They're getting something out of it. Number 2 or 3, I don't know which one we're on. The minute women decide to stop having sex with you, it's over. There's nothing you can do there, right? So women control access to sex and relationships. She can leave whenever she wants. She can stop the sex whenever she wants. And if you don't have sex, you don't have a relationship. This is just some secret king shit that guys say because they believe in their mind that every woman that has sex with them wants to be with them. It's an ego investment thing. It's like there's their ego, right? I've been in the game long enough that most women don't want to be in relationships. Most. Until the absolute end of their fertility window, they do not want to be in relationships. So here you are asking, why wouldn't men control access to? No, either opt in or opt out. When you are having a sexual relationship with a woman and then she pops the question, hey, what are we? What are we going to do? Are you seeing other girls? Can we do this? Can we have a serious relationship? He is the one setting the terms right there. He says, you can be with me, but you can be with no one else. And you either take it or leave it. And most guys need to control the universe, need to be awesome and they feel masculine because they get to control the universe. So they say, oh, I control access to the relation. I'm like, no, she's still setting the terms. Either opt in or opt out. And that's why women control access to both. All right, next question. How to deal with the constant propaganda from women on TikTok and social media so it doesn't affect your game. Also, what if women in real life bring up that type of propaganda in a conversation, how you should handle it? If they bring it up in a conversation, you just act dumb. Play dumb. Yeah, play dumb. I've had people bring up the red pill to me, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I always say, is that like the Andrew Tate stuff? And that's it. And just play dumb. Constant propaganda from women on TikTok. Well, it's not real. Nothing is real on the internet, dude. Nothing. Everything is fake. Those interviews with adult film actresses where they're saying, "Yeah, I once had sex in a taxi because that's fake." That's just things they say, so they can get people to subscribe to them because they're so hot and horny. They're trying to show you availability. Like, look how attainable these women are. Come jerk off to us. Like, yeah. Relationship TikToks where they show the couple getting up together in the bed. I'm like, who's recording this? All of it is scripted. All of it is scripted, guys. And the burden of proof to prove it's not scripted is on them. Not you, them. So that's how you deal with the constant propaganda. It's all lies. Girls were like, I need 6 figures, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, when you date enough, you're like, hey, I hooked up with a chick hotter than her 2 weeks ago, who all I did was invite her for 1 glass of wine, and she fucked the shit out of me. What propaganda? Look at it like this. You're not the target audience. Guys who fuck are not the target audience of women's TikTok, of chick talk. It's funny because I look at them and I know exactly where they're coming from, why they're saying it, and it's like I can't even tell that not even they believe what they're saying. So I'm like, yep, So, excuse me, it's getting kind of late. All right. Do black women only date through the lens of money? No. But the thing is that since they the culture, right? Lower socioeconomic class, they kind of look at dating as transactional because they have to, because survival is still up in question for them, right? They want a better life and they're a lower socioeconomic class. And people from lower socioeconomic classes tend to see dating as transactional, which it isn't. So, all right. I'll be interacting with plenty of girls, but they always fizzle out after a few weeks. What can I do to prevent that? What do you mean by interacting? Like just online or in person? Uh, if you're not asking these women out within 48 hours or within the first conversation, then you're wasting your time. Women love text buddies. They love pen pals. But they don't care for they don't they will they will assume you don't like them and that you're cool with this level of interaction, and they're getting time from you and attention, and that's their sex for you. That's how they screw you. That's how they have sex with you. That's how they put you on all fours and hit it from the back. Is you're wasting your time, right? So what you're doing is you're a time hoe right now. You're getting passed around by all these girls because they're wasting your time and they love it. The way women moan, that's how you're moaning right now. So what do? As soon as you get a girl to give you your number or to match, um, what you do is ask her out right away. There's no reason not to. Stop being a time hoe. So that's probably what's happening. Now, if you're like, if you're in it, when I say if it's interacting, you're like hooking up with these women, they fizzle out. Well, I mean, you got sex, so there's not really the L. But if you would like to keep more women around, a lot of times it's because you went too hard in the relationship stuff and that scared them off. You may have brought up labels and that scared them off. Maybe you're just really bad at sex, and that's okay. You're younger. A lot of guys need to learn. Really, guys, the sex stuff, it's just a matter of practice. And also, um, you have to be dominant. You got to push the envelope a little bit, right? I remember the first time I slapped a girl and I was like, holy fuck. And then she just moaned. I'm like, oh, cool. I remember when I choked a girl and she moaned. I'm like, okay, cool. It's just like you're testing the waters. So if you're not good at sex, then girls gonna be like, but if you're good at sex, it'll help her come back and all that. Um, and also they will know, they'll have a feeling, but don't make it obvious you're seeing other girls. Like let the evidence be barely conclusive, but not obvious, right? Like maybe a condom in the trash. Don't leave a condom in the trash. If you do, you're just like, own up to me, like, yeah, I'm seeing someone else. But like don't leave your open box of condoms on the nightstand when she comes over. Like that's too obvious, right? So yeah. All right, next question. How to stop being neurotic when dealing with women, bad conclusions, not trusting them, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Well, you got to understand that you can't control women. No matter what you do, there is no, because neuroticism comes from, hey, I want control. I'm scared because I'm losing control. And that's feminine programming. Men, we have more control over the universe over women because we have strength, logic, spatial awareness, whatever. So your neuroticism is coming because you want to control women and you're scared of what they'll do. And you need to disengage from that. You are clamping on to outcomes. First off, assume every woman is promiscuous. And the part that everyone misses is, but don't obsess about it, right? Look at every girl you've ever been on a date with, every girl you've put on a purity pedestal, whether it be an old high school crush, whether it be your sister, whether it be the girl down the street that looks adorable or, adorably cute and naive and whatever, girl next door vibes, or your ex or whoever. Assume that those girls are just getting ran through right now. Just like absolutely just ran through. They're on a way to a gangbang and they're doing sex clubs and they eat ass. Like assume all that shit, right? And why? Because first off, sex feels good. It feels good for you and it feels good for them. Trust me. Number two, it's really hard to tell if a girl is having promiscuous sex because now we have Tinder and dating apps. It is what it is. And then number three, women are really good at hiding it. So the only logical conclusion is, hey, just treat all guns as loaded. So I know it may hurt you, but in time, you're gonna hope women are promiscuous because you're gonna go on a date with a girl and you're gonna be tired or you're gonna be stressed and you're trying to have a good time, and all in your mind you're gonna wish, I hope this girl is good at sex because I need a release. I'm horny and I don't want to train a girl on how to fuck tonight. I want her to rock my world. Please be a hoe. Please be promiscuous because I don't want a good girl tonight. I want good sex, right? I want a hoe. I don't want to marry her. I want to have fun because I'm stressed and tired. So there's that. And then realize too, having options. When you have options, you tend to worry less about what a certain particular woman is doing. So when you have abundance, you're just like, oh wait, hold on. Man, I really like this girl. She seems so pure. I hope she's not banging other guys. Goes to what was her name again? Or when was the last time I saw her? That's better, right? It kind of defeats the neuroticism. And then not trusting them, that comes from predictive. Like the red pill is supposed to give predictive power to kind of know what women are. A lot of guys consume red pill for years, but when women do what the red pill tells them that they will do, they cannot accept. They're like, what? We say like, hey, a woman will bring a date to your funeral, right? And then a family member, them ex-wife, will get married after they die. And they'll be like, what a bitch. She got married right after my brother died. Well, I'm like, yeah, we've been saying that. We mean it. It's not like some mean thing we say so we can get clicks. It's like we mean it. So yeah, so get red pilled, have options, and then accept women's nature, and your neuroticism will go away. And as a matter of fact, Zen mode is laughing at women that are hoes because it's just like I've met women that are hoes and they're not good at sex. So it's like, wow, all that hoeing and you got nothing done. I hoed around in my 20s as a man, and I'm damn good. I'm pretty good at sex. I've gotten positive reviews. And you did all that work and you have nothing to show for it. And that's why they don't like us sometimes. So, all right, new message. What are your thoughts on pulling girls out of work during her lunch for a date? My schedule allows for this. In some places, I want to hit up by some of their offices. What do you mean? Like out of your job or just out of a job? Okay. Well, if this is all you can do schedule wise, then sure. If you match with a girl on Tinder and you say, hey, if you match with a girl on Tinder and you say, hey, I can't, how about quick lunch? Just know that lunch is sterile. It's not sexy. There's other stuff that's going to happen later in the day. You're not going to be able to drink because it's the work day. But if that's all you can do, it's better than nothing. But how about this? Use lunch to set up for the date. Lunch isn't the date. It's just the pre-interview for the date. Maybe build some rapport, maybe, be able to scope out to see if she's a catfish or if she is attractive as she is. And make sure she's not from your own job. So, yeah. Oh, getting messages now. Next question. What do you wear on the first date, second date, third date? Uh, you know, ideally you guys would be going out to classy lounges. So as you get older, right? I start wearing when in the beginning I wear a V-neck and jeans and white sneakers or boots, kind of basic look. Still looks good. Looks like good on most men as long as you're kind of muscular. As the years went on, I started wearing nicer clothes like pleated pants and you know maybe slacks and a shirt. Stylish, I want it a little bit saucy and things that accentuated muscles and all that. Uh, but the general rule of thumb is always dress one step better than anyone else, right? If you go and everyone is in a button-up shirt, wear a button-up shirt and a blazer. If you go somewhere and everyone's in a V-neck, um, then wear, and jeans, then wear a V-neck, but also wear like slacks. Always dress one, and you're trying to stand out. You're trying to get while on the date other girls to look at you. You're trying to look respectable. And honestly, when I used to dress nice and go on dates, I would always get free shots because when you dress nice somewhere, you're always going to add to the value of the place, right? It makes the place look better. So yeah, I've heard, I've gone to places that in a suit and just to any bar or anything, and they give you free drinks or they give you a free section. Hey, you guys look very classy. Would you guys like a free section? Yeah, sure, thanks. So, um, yeah. And when you're dressing, I personally don't recommend telling a girl what to wear. Hey, wear a black dress, blah blah blah. What I say is, I'm gonna try to wear something nice for you, right? And that kind of like it lets her interpret, hey, just wear something nice. Now, if she says, what should I wear? Then be specific. Like, I'm wearing gray and I would like you to wear black because it complements my gray. Now, see, that's sexy. That's like, hey, the guy with the plan knows how to color, wants to look good with you and is making this a whole experience. However, don't be pushy. Like, don't be like, hey, wear a black dress. Because, women are stressed, man. What if she doesn't have a black dress? What if she outgrew it because she gained a couple pounds? It's gonna stress her out, right? Just say, hey, I'm gonna try to wear something nice for you. Shows investment, shows like care, and it allows her to ask her the question, hey, what should I wear? And then you're like, hey, specifically, if you can, if not, here's your second option. And like that. So yeah, real easy to set them on paper, but in real life, man, guys are like, I can't believe this happened. I'm like, well, believe it. All those bodies and you still give mid head? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, I think this is it. I think we got a new question. All right. If you guys want to send any super chats, send them. I'm about to end the show soon. What do I say if your girlfriend friends tries to insult you in front of her? You agree and amplify, man. It's a shit test. Agree and amplify. Be worse. Like if she says you're kind of a misogynist, be like, I'm not kind of a misogynist. I am a misogynist. And I don't like I like just you see what I'm saying? How masculine that like you fucking don't give a shit. Your girl's gonna like you more. Because you gotta understand, women kind of see each other, even if they're friends, as adversarial. So when her friends are attacking you, she wants you to dunk on them secretly because her friends are in competition with her. They're not like us guys where, yeah, we kind of compete sometimes, but like we're homies. We're on the same, we're here. Women are constantly competing against each other. It's brutal. So if her friends say something like, um, hey, you're kind of a misogynist. I'm getting misogynist vibes from you. And you can be like, no, actually I am. That's how I got hurt. Something like that, right? Just agree and amplify. But like just be again, remember earlier I was talking about you're evil. You're evil. Society has deemed you a bad person that has to prove their worth to get out of the hole of being a man, a bad person. But just be what society tells you you are and watch them clutch their pearls and reward you because you are doing what they want, which is giving them a reason to be the victim. Right? Agree and amplify. Yeah, I would be like insulted. I'd be like, only kind of. I'm actually I thought I was a full on misogynist. Like, should I try harder? Just like that. It seems scary, but you know, they'll roll their eyes, they'll tell her you should leave and blah blah blah. And then she'll realize, like, holy shit, I got a winner. This motherfucker is, these little lame Instagram reels where it's like how to win over her friends, blah blah blah. If you lose her friends, though, you'll leave her. I'm like, good. Good. I don't want to be with a girl that chooses her friends over me. Goodbye. As a matter of fact, you know, so Jack and Hoff. You get notices on here? Yes, I do. Um, yeah, so That's how you handle it, friend. Pretty easy question, but it's a good one. It's very, you know. I think that's all the questions there are here. These are good questions, guys. Uh, again, see, these are good questions because it's anonymous. Like, it's not tied to a super chat where we can judge you, everyone else. Like, I get it. If you guys would like me to answer these kind of questions for you on a one-on-one basis, you can email me, right? Email me and we can set up a call. I'm gonna charge you, right? I'm not gonna work for free, but we can do it. And also, if you want focused training, if you want everything and get trained and want a full-on college course of red pill dating and basically turning yourself into me, but with your own goals, desires, and wants for dating, oh, I can I can coach you, bro. We can solve these problems. I don't want to get DMs where guys are just like, I want to end it like I got today. I don't, right? But it doesn't have to be this way. What is the morality of using AI to generate images in your likeness for dating apps? That is a good question. And I would wait for a super chat to answer it, but it's such a good question that I will answer it here. There is no morality, first off. There is no right and wrong in dating. As long as you don't break the law, there is no right and wrong in dating. Remember that. And that's not a license. I'm not saying that's a license for you to go wreak havoc and hurt people. I'm just saying that when it happens to you, you're not like gonna go crazy and wonder why the world is so cruel. You entered a game that has rules and you thought the rules were gonna there is no morality, right? So with AI generated images, I am not on dating apps, but I would expect eventually that they're going to start flagging AI pictures. It might not happen because women use a lot of AI to make themselves thinner or more attractive. So Tinder, Hinge, Match.com might be like, you know what? Let's just leave it, right? Because if they start flagging AI images, then women will get flagged too because they use AI to look to edit their stuff, right? So maybe they won't, but worry about being flagged. I know Instagram flags it, right? So when it's flagged, if you're gonna post pictures, here's some deep secret. If you're gonna post pictures to Instagram that is AI modified, it's gonna flag, right? It flags on Twitter as well. Make sure you add another picture that's silly or goofy, like you flying an airplane or something funny, whatever. That way, when people see your pictures, they're going to assume that the flagged picture was the silly you doing, you in Minecraft world or something, whatever edit you use or prompt you use, not the picture of you like drinking around hot women or whatever, right? Also, when you do AI, like use a good generator. Like the chat GPT new image generator is amazing. It's what I used to make thumbnails now. I make it in Canva and then I put it in chat GPT and I tell it to enhance, act as a graphic designer or whatever, and it gives me something good. And all that. Yeah, so make it look believable. Feed it the right prompts, put in some work. It's not just, hey, make me look cool or put me, swap my face with this guy. Like actually put in your good pictures of yourself into it. Use a good image generator. Grok is not that good. Nano Banana is the best, but it's very politically correct. So it might not, there's some things it might not do. ChatGPT new image generator is great. Make sure you have the right prompts, right pictures, and realize that humans are gullible, but they're not stupid. They may think, oh, this guy uses AI pics. So don't go too hard on them. Maybe only one per post on Instagram or one in your dating profile. And when you have it, make sure it's believable, right? Really look at it and be like, is this believable? And then good luck, right? So, yeah. Yeah, that's my email, guys. Nuclearcaldillo@gmail.com. I will say, guys, that the coaching isn't going to be that cheap, right? But if you just want to call, well, we can discuss a specific problem. And if you don't want to call, if you just want tech support, we can do that too. We can negotiate, right? But We got to fix these things. We got to stop with the doom and gloom. We got this. It's not the end of the world. Just you need it's extreme sports. You need a good instructor, you need good gear, and you need a good mindset, or else you're gonna get hurt. But once you have those things in place, you're gonna reach highs that most human beings have never reached. And I'm telling you, every guy, yeah, no problem, man. Um, every guy has a certain aspect of dating that just makes it's a peak experience right for them, right? For me, it was like, hey, I'm not supposed to be dating women from these countries. I'm a brown guy. I'm Dominican. I'm supposed to date slightly overweight Dominican women, which nothing wrong with my Dominican women. They have some of the best bodies in the world, right? The whole world wants to look like Dominican women. I get it. But I was only supposed to date women from my country, genetically speaking, like geographically speaking. But I'm on a date with a Taiwanese girl. And in the moment, I wasn't thinking that. I was just like, I like this girl. She's cute. A great time, great date, all that. But I'm not supposed to, this isn't supposed to happen. I'm breaking some kind of law of the universe. This isn't supposed to happen. Right? Or I was on a date with a Moldovan woman, or I was on a date with a Kyrgyzstani woman, or I was on a date with a whatever from whatever country, Turkmenistan, right? And when you're on a date with these women and they're so exotic and they're just so different in terms of, certain aspects of culture, that's a high. It's a high that, you don't get from a lot of things. No, there's no replacement for that. Right. Um, it's like the guy from Jurassic Park, the second movie, Muldoon, who wanted to hunt the T-Rex, and that was his whole thing. He didn't care about anything else. He just wanted to hunt the T-Rex. Um, and I don't think he got killed. I think he lived, but all he wanted was the ability to hunt because it was the thrill of the hunt. And really, that high that everyone complained, I didn't have sex in a month. You're just like, dude, imagine having sex for a month and then you get a baddie. Just imagine the rush you're gonna feel, and you're just so nervous. And then 20 minutes into the date, she's like touching your thigh, she's laughing, and all that black pill shit you were posting on Twitter or Reddit is slowly leaving your body. And then you have good sex, and you wake up in the morning, and you're just like, what the fuck just happened? That's life. That's being alive. It's losing hope or things getting bleak, and all of a sudden, boom, you know, Gandalf shows up over the hill with an army. You're like, what the hell? Look to the east or whatever he says. Uh, and that's the beauty of it. You want a little bit of a sure thing. You want to get laid eventually, right? But you also, it's an experience, right? There's a lot of fucked up things to deal with, but there's also a lot of beauty in getting to know this side of women that the whole internet theorizes about. You'll have academics. You'll have Aela say, hey, I'm going to do a survey and it's going to be science. I'm like, that's low tier existence in terms of sociosexual hierarchy. Guys that date and are out there and learning and experiencing high highs and low lows, man, you can't survey that. You can't put that. Hey, so the last dates you went on, was it successful? And you're just like, well, I don't see it like that. I don't see it as ones and zeros. I don't see it as data. I see it as I went on a date with a woman whose ass was much larger and nicer than I thought. And it made the whole date awesome. Can you quantify that? Or, hey, I went on a date with a girl whose sister I hooked up with last year and she doesn't know. That's amazing. That's riveting. That gets your blood going. Makes you feel alive. Makes you feel like a fucking conqueror, like Genghis Khan, right? That is what I'm saying. Stop. Like, this is why I hate statistics and I hate people like scientists and data around dating, because it takes away the fun. It just sucks out. It's like this neuroticism about knowing the right answer and getting the data right and who's getting laid, who's not, what women respond to. Dude, that's not what dating is. It's not It's experiences. And you're going to have experiences that you may not be able to tell anyone but us here in the chat. Like I haven't been able to tell anyone. There was one time where I matched a girl, um, and then I matched her sister the next week, and I went on dates with both. They didn't know about it. They didn't know about each other, but just like wow, both of these women grew up in the same household, and both have the same type of men that they like. That's like that's a pretty cool thing. I don't think it worked out. I don't think I got laid with either. But the fact that they were like matching with me in the first place, both of them. And I knew because the picture on Bumble, it was a Bumble or Hinge, I don't remember. It was the same. Like not same, but like I saw one and they looked similar and all that stuff. I'm like, wow, that's an experience you can't quantify. That's something that you take in your heart as a man and be like, there was a time where I was out in these streets and I was matching sisters, you know? And then there everyone's gonna say that you can't get what you want. Like, oh, you're brown, or oh, you're dumb, or you're low IQ. And then you get exactly what they told you couldn't have, you know? For a while, I liked to date Asian women, and I felt kind of embarrassed. I'm like, I don't want to be one of those guys that, like Asian women and, the yellow fever guys. But then I went on a couple dates with Asian women, and it was fine. They liked me, and I liked them. It was normal. It wasn't, you know, it made me feel very powerful, but not in the control. It just felt, like Rule Zero, more power and options. And it became an experience. So when I come to the end of this and I share my experiences and I go viral and I'm sitting in front of you here today, and some doctor, you know, Dr. Dorkenstein, or Two Hoes, One Dork podcast, or Two Dorks, One Hoe podcast, because that's what all podcasts now are. It's two dorks and one hoe. That's all of them, right? Says something about dating, and they laugh, or they take it serious. I'm like, guys, that's not what dating is. Dating isn't it's not a place where you pull analytics from or data and it be useful. Yeah, there's some things that are could be useful, sure, but it's experiences, man, and that's why the red pill will always be more useful and better than data. And they hate that, and they know that. That's why they won't engage with Rolo. That's why they won't engage with any one of us, because they know that we're backed by experiences. You can't disprove them. You can't prove them on the internet, at least not on the internet, but you can't disprove them. But you know what you can be? You can be authentic. It doesn't go through a filter, because that guy that messaged me today about his pain, that was honest. That was fucking real. That was honest. Right? Me talking about pussy on the internet, I don't have to do this, but when I do it, it's honest. You guys can see the conviction in my eyes. And hopefully you guys also are authentic with your problems. I would hope so. But you can't quantify it. There's nothing you can quantify it with. Right? Going on a date with a 26-year-old girl that looks like Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy, tell you she's a virgin, and starts almost tearing up because she feels embarrassed to tell you. Science can't deliver that. That is something that in your heart as a man, that is an experience. That is the beauty of dating. Yeah, sex is great. It has utility. You want to have sex. But also, out of all the people on earth, I would say I'm in the top 1 million of men that see this side of women fully. Top 1 million. You guys could be too. Top 1% of the 1% of men that have seen every side of women imaginable and accepts it and seen it. Because I've seen it in all different women. Right? So, yeah. I think I can conclude with that. It's getting late, and I would like to go to bed soon. But yeah, guys, there it is. Announcements. Like I said, there's my email if you guys would like to contact me and all that stuff. For help, for any questions, contact me there. Book is still at the editor, waiting on that. New Substack article dropped today. Was it today or yesterday? I think it was today. There's also a new free post. Let me link that for you guys real quick. I have a free newsletter in case you guys don't want to pay the $7 a month for the paid stuff, but that's fine. Let me get that up here for you. So here's a paid one. I put it in the chat here. Here's the paid one. Again, you get hundreds of essays, or probably like 200 now. And now a newsletter. I probably will do it tomorrow or Tuesday because I've been lacking. I've been just busy, other stuff. Here's the free newsletter. Some posts are shorter. They're more, a little bit less fleshed out, just pretty SEO max, just to get guys to subscribe, but still some good value there. So here's the free one. And it looks like you guys like this format where I post the anonymous question link, and that's okay because, maybe we get a better show because you guys can be out, not you guys, but like the guys that ask questions can be a little bit more honest about their problems. So we can get, and those are some good questions. Honestly, those are great questions. So, maybe I'll do this more often. I'm streaming less. If you guys don't notice, I find my time is better used somewhere else, and that's okay. But obviously you guys really want me back because good super chats. The chat is engaged. People are sending questions, so I appreciate you guys. You guys make me feel like my time is not wasted. You guys make me feel like I'm here for a reason on the internet, right? There have been many attempts to chase me off the internet. Lots of drama that I didn't ask for, but I'm still here. And, whether it's someone making fun of my channel for having 2,000 followers, now 3,140. So, it's going pretty quickly. Or it's someone making fun of my work or whatever, or someone making fun of who I date or whatever, saying I'm a fraud. I'm still here. And I don't see any reason to leave. And all that. So thanks again for the support. And thanks again for the super chats, the subscriptions, all that. You guys really support me and what I do. And of course, like any other guy, they look at this and like, am I making an impact? Am I doing anything good here? And I got that DM today and I realized like, hey, I really can't stop. I can't make you guys better. You guys got to do that yourself. But I have to give you the tools. If I have them, I got to lend them to you and show you how to use them so you can get on with it. Anyways, guys, thank you again for your time. And I will see you next time. And you know what? You guys get a $6 shrimp special.
Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. $6 shrimp special!